Yesterday, we celebrated the Mahasamadhi of Yogananda. Mahasamadhi means living in an aware way of the body to unify oneself with God. Some years ago, we celebrated the Mahasamadhi in Ananda, but there were so many people that wanted to come. I'm talking 17, 18 years ago, and we had this temple, but we could not fit with the rooms, and so we reserved the great Grand Hotel of Assisi, and there was a room that was for 500 people. So Swami was here, and we transferred Ananda into this hotel to have this big celebration of Mahasamadhi. It was probably one of the biggest events that Ananda has celebrated, at least up to that point. And I remember the day of the Mahasamadhi, we were in Swami's room, and he said, before talking, someone should introduce me. And when I heard that, I was very timid and shy. And so I actually hid behind all the people that were there. And he said, it would be a good idea that it was a man, that it is a man. And my heart was beating. And then he says, an Italian man would be even better. And my heart was bursting. My heart was coming up, and I couldn't almost breathe. And at that point, my name was Paolo. And he said, I think Paolo is the right person. And it was the catastrophe. He didn't say what I had to say. I didn't sleep for the whole night. And the next morning, there was this big event. And Swami was in front. I was sitting next to him. And in front of me, there was the choir, like in every event. And Swami started. He stood up and he sang together with the choir. Then he came back and said, now it's your turn. I didn't know really what to do. I was so confused in my head. I thought I was going to have... I thought my heart was going to stop. I had an idea, but when I came up to the podium to talk, I saw black in front of me. And then I felt, okay, what do I have to say? And I said, Swami was there watching me. I said, I want to introduce to you Swami and Kriyananda, the person that with so much difficulty has created Ananda. And when he heard that, he came up running. He took my hand and he said, you meant with so much joy and divine force. And I said, yes, Swami. And then he introduced himself by himself because he felt that it was better that I just would not say anything else. And then I came down and I was so mortified. I was so worried that I had said that in front of all these people. And my brain was saying, okay, it's good, because that way they won't have to ask you to talk anymore. Never again. Swami had his discourse, and I was almost crying. And I said, I'm so sorry, Swami. And Swami said, don't worry. Next time it will be better. From that moment, almost in every event, he asked me to present. And I overcame my fear. Fear blocks you. fear as you see that we are not able to act. And in that moment, I needed that strong push to understand that it could be that you don't do it super well, but it's important that you do it. And this is the message that I understood then. It's important to do things well, but to arrive to that, you have to try and try and try. Like this choir. This choir sings so well because they work together and they try and try. And everything that we do has to be repeated so it becomes part of us through our atoms, our cells. Just as truth comes in through atoms. Sri Yukteswar said, if you want to know what you really are, you have to understand it at a cell level. What does this mean? It means to go so deep that the universe reveals to you. And for this, you need to practice every day, and this is very important. And what we see in this moment, in this reading, is that we have to perceive this truth through our intention. When Jesus said to his disciples, who says, what does people say what I am? Some say I'm a prophet, some that I'm Elia, some that I am. But you, what do you think that I am? And in that moment Simon said, you are the Christ, the God, the Son of the Lord. And he answered, blessed are you, and now I'm going to call you Peter, and on this stone I will build my church. It's my Father that has revealed this, and to you I will give the keys of the doors to heaven. The intuition is what really opens the doors of heaven. And then he added, and the inference will not prevail on you. What is the the lowest? It's our fear. It's our own capacity to elevate ourselves because we're comfortable, and it's easy to live in comfort, but it's not easy it's not good for God that we live too much in comfort, because He wants to bring us home, and when we will be home, everything will be different. I remember a story of a man that was this man went to heavens, and he found a door, and behind the door was Saint Peter, and many people were there, and he sees that someone in front of him was a punk dressed with chains and with piercing, all black. And he says, well, he's in front of me, how is that possible? And he asks Saint Peter, I have given lectures about you to all my life. I worked in a church, and he is in front of me. And St. Peter says, we just see the results. We don't see what you have done. And honestly, sometimes he says, well, actually, when I would give my lectures, my sermons, a lot of people would fall asleep. So the results weren't so positive, so I understand. And what did he do? He was a taxi driver of New York. He would drive so fast, and in such a risky way that everyone that was on his taxi would pray, pray, and pray for their life. So that's why he's in front of me, because there were a lot of results from what he was doing. I want to tell a story that I heard last week. A woman that wasn't very devoted. She couldn't walk very well, and she went to make an X-ray, and they saw that in her foot, this is a true story, one bone opened up. And they said, this is an operation that we can do. It's very difficult, but we can't assure you that you will be able to walk well. It could be that you walk better. It could be that you walk not like you walk now, or even worse. You have to choose. And a friend of hers asked her, now that you are in this moment, I'm doing a pilgrimage to Lourdes. Would you like to come with me? And she said, I don't know, I'm not such a devoted person. And she said, come, it's an important moment. You have to decide and choose what to do. So she went, and in these trains, they would be going on these trains that take sick people to Lourdes. And when she went on the train, she really saw people that were much worse than her, that had terrible illnesses, and she started helping them. And her friend was a nurse, so she went to her way, and she was helping people. And when they arrived to Lourdes, they continued to serve. And she realized that when she was serving others, she wouldn't have pain. So she started to serve in such a way. She said, I saw children that were in such a difficult situation, much worse than mine, people that were dying, people that really had so many problems, but nevertheless, they were full of light. And I felt that I had to give to these people whatever I could. And so she served for the whole period. And when they met, the two friends, after a few days, and they were coming back home, her friend asked her, so did you receive an intuition, an idea of what to do? And her answer was, I never prayed for myself. I only served others. And I felt that the miracle that I wanted, I really never asked for. The true miracle was my personal transformation. I have never been as happy in my whole life. I really felt the presence of Divine Mother. I felt Divine Mother. I could feel her. I could feel her in every hand I touched with all these people that were not well. And I didn't have one day where I wasn't full of joy and love. And these people were not suffering. I actually was serving Divine Mother, God, Jesus, through all of them. And I go back home accepting the test and the challenge that God is giving me with great faith. After 2 months, she felt her foot that was like something was she felt something happening to her foot, and the doctor said, you know, your bone is coming out by itself. And he took it out easily. And whatever is happening inside of us manifests at an external level. And this is a very important thing to remember. We can't change the things outside. These are as they are. But if we change them at an inner level, then miracles happen. And this is the great transformation that God asks from us. Every day we are challenged. There are no days without challenges, probably, but are these challenges really difficulties, or are they graces? Grace that comes from the heavens. Let's think about this. It's very important. Last time that I was in Holy Land, I was walking in the streets of Jerusalem, and I closed my eyes, and I saw a man that walked close to me with 12 men around him. And this man did not say anything. It felt like I was time back. He just looked at me in the eyes. He stopped. He looked at me again in the eyes with an incredible deepness. He didn't say a thing. I couldn't talk. I was magnetized by his eyes. And then he walked away. And I think that man with those 12 friends has gone through our lives probably 2,000 years ago. And he has waited 10, 20 years, 2,000 years, until he sent an emissary, a person that had the same consciousness as the Christ, and that was Yogananda. There I understood that when we are in tune with God through meditation or through our service, one gets in contact with this road that we are walking, or that we have walked many, many, many years back. And you realize that the people that you encounter, situations that are yours, because you have already lived them. And when you look into the eyes of someone, you understand that that person is yours, because he has already touched your heart, your soul in a different life. And when Yogananda arrived, in that message that Jesus had sent to me 2,000 years ago, he had already put that seed in my heart, and he was in there and will never leave, because time is needed. 2,000 years for us seems so long. For them it's nothing. They want to bring us home, and they want to have us live in their glory. We have this great possibility to open and see the world with our heart. If we see the world with our mind, the world will not be. Everything that happens is to elevate us to higher planes, planes where all the masters are waiting for us. Yesterday there was the Kriya initiation, and I feel that the masters were dancing and joyful in this room, full of joy, because new children are going back home. And this joy, you can really perceive it through internet or here, or someone that even is just around. I was home, and I was meditating home, and I could feel the joy that was here in the temple. because it's part of us. From the beginning of time, we have all the power of God. It has been given to us, and we must use it for the best. This power is our right. God has given it to us, and we must use it well. They are waiting for us. I hope that you receive all the strength in every day, and that from your house, from your home, that you can feel that the challenges are the blessings of God, and that these blessings can bring us to their light. Have a good Sunday and a good week for all.